Never cut off your nose to spite your own face. So when I was an apprentice, I had the biggest exam of all exams coming up. This exam was called the AM2, and this exam determined whether or not I was going to become an electrician. Yeah. Now the exam was booked for July, and in May I still was attending college to build up my portfolio to send it off to the assessors. Now college was from 9 until 4 p.m. Yeah, and at lunchtime the tutor said, listen, you guys have no more tuition after lunch, so feel free to go home, or you can stay behind after lunch and practice for the AM2 if you're not confident. So what happened? A lot of guys are like, yeah, we'll go home, whatever. They thought they was confident. I wasn't that confident, yeah? So I thought to myself, well, I've got the opportunity to improve my skills. So after lunch, I returned back to college and I was practicing. Probably done this for about 4 or 5 weeks straight, yeah? July came around and then I had to go down to Maidstone in Kent and stay in a hotel for 3 nights. Now the exam, they give you 3 days for the exam, but you can finish the exam in 2.5 days, maybe even 2 days. It depends. It depends on whether or not the bays are organized. The bays are where you actually carry out the exams, yeah, the practical exams. So depending on how fast you are and how soon they can get the bays organized, then you know you could finish the exam between 2 and 3 days, but they give you 3 days, yeah. So anyway, gone down there now, and on day 1 I walked into the exam hall and there's all these different bays and stuff, and you work in the bay on your own, yeah. And one of the guys, he was really nervous. I could see it in his face. This guy was bright red, yeah. I could see it in his face. Now I don't know if it was because he failed in the past or he just genuinely didn't prepare for the exam, but he was nervous. I was a bit anxious, a bit nervous, and it's a big exam, but nowhere near as nervous as this guy. So on the first day, had the easier exams, which was a multiple choice. I know I passed that one on the spot. And then a fault finding one. Now, obviously we get lunch breaks in between and that. So I finished those 2 exams and then I went home, and then on the second day, about midday, I started the final bit of the exam. Now you're given 8 hours for the exam, but if, for example, you start at 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock comes, then you would have used 3 hours and you have to go home, and then the next day you get 5 hours to commence, yeah, to finish off the exam. So I used about, say, 5.5 hours on the second day, and then the next day, which was the third and final day, I only had 2.5 hours left. So after I left the exam on the second day, using up the 5.5 hours, I was thinking to myself, like, damn, Jay, you're really behind, you know, and you still got a lot of work to do to finish the exam. So afterwards, some of my college buddies that I met up there, we went out for just went to the pub just to get a few drinks and that. Obviously I don't drink alcohol, but anyway, I was in a group, but my mind was elsewhere. I was in a group, but I was on my own, yeah, because I was just thinking about getting this exam done. Like, it was important, you know. So I went back to the hotel. It was about 9 o'clock at night, and I stood there in the mirror. Now I know you're not gonna think I'm crazy, and that's cool, but I stood there in the mirror and I was just looking at myself for a good half an hour. Like, I think I was in a state of meditation. I was just standing there looking in the mirror, and I actually visualized myself becoming a fully qualified electrician and running my own business, yeah. For me, you have to achieve it, you have to see it. So that's what I did. Like, I visualized it, yeah. So anyway, after visualizing, went to bed, woke up the next morning, and I just hit the exam hard. I smashed it. I only had a few minutes to spare, luckily. Yeah, and I finished the exam. So anyway, I've gone home now, you know, after finishing the exam, left, gone back to London, and they give you about a week or so, yeah, to wait for the results. And I remember it was one evening, I came home from work, normal day at work, and I was downstairs eating my dinner, and I got a text message on my phone, and it said basically, you need to go and check your emails to find out the results. So I called my mum. I said, Mum, come upstairs, I need to check the results on my email to find out whether or not I passed. So, you know, some people, like, they would find out on their own and then they would tell whoever whether or not they passed. I was confident enough, you know, that I'd pass. Obviously, still a bit, you know, 50-50, you know, that, oh, you know, so there is still a chance that you could fail, but I was confident that I would pass. So anyway, took my mum upstairs now, and And then, you know, open up the email and it said, yeah, pass. You know, congratulations, you've successfully passed the AM2. I was happy. My mom gave me a big hug and kiss. She told me how proud of me she was. And then I bust my bedroom window open. I just shouted, yes. Obviously, shouted it really loud, hollered down the street. And yeah, that was a good moment. Now, I kept in contact with some of my college buddies, and not all of them passed. And I believe it's because they cut off their nose to spite their own face. They thought it was funny, or they thought, yeah, they get, because obviously if you're an apprentice and you're at college, yeah, you get paid for going to college. So they're getting paid to do half a day's college and going home and then messing around or doing whatever. So they thought, yeah, you know, we're getting paid half a day and then we're messing around the other half a day. I didn't think of it like that. I thought to myself, my time has been allocated to study, so that's what I'm going to do. So when I caught up with some of my other college buddies, they failed. And that's their own fault. They had the opportunity to study and hone in their skills and practice and get better and stuff like that. And they decided not to. And a lot of them failed. A lot of them had to go back again. Listen, you see, when you fail that exam, yeah, this exam is so serious, yeah. When you fail that exam, you have to do the whole thing from the beginning. So it's not, oh, I failed one part and I have to go back and do that. No, you have to do the whole exam from the beginning, yeah. It's a difficult exam. They don't play around there. So anyway, I passed it and I was happy. And yeah, went back to work and my mentor was really proud of me and stuff. And I actually got an award for it as well at the end of the year. So the exam was in July, and in December, I got a phone call from my college. Now, I'm done with college, finished college for now anyway. Got my qualification. And my college called me and said, yep, Mr. Such and Such, we need you to come into college for an award. An award ceremony. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, you're gonna get one. And I was like, oh yeah, just tell him to send it in the post. And she was like, no, it's an important award, and you need to come in to collect it, to receive it. So I'm like, all right then, cool. And she was like, are you gonna come? I'm like, oh yeah, I'll come, I promise. So anyway, I've gone down there and they're giving out the award. So everyone that was in the college for an award were all apprentices across all different subjects, yeah, you know, air hostess, plumbing, accounting, you name it, yeah. And obviously I was there for electrical. And then they've given out all the awards and stuff, and then they were like, yeah, now we've got some special awards. So I'm like, all right, cool. I didn't even think I was gonna get an award on some special award. And then it was like, best attitude to learning. And they called out my name. I was shocked that I had no warning, no pre-warning that I was going to get an award for that. I just thought I was going to get a general award for being an apprentice or completing my apprenticeship. I didn't think it was going to be no special award. They said, yeah, such and such has the best attitude to learning. And it was because I was given the opportunity to obviously go off and do what I want, mess around. But no, I decided, you know what, my exam is so important to me that I need to pass this first time. I'm not taking the chance and going out there and messing around. So I stayed after class and I was just practicing, made sure I knew everything down to the T. So that's why I got that award for best attitude to learning, because I did have the best attitude to learning. I was the only person in the workshop when everyone else had gone home. You know? Some of my college buddies, these guys are so funny, yeah. We were allowed to leave at like 11:30, for example, yeah, and there was a pub around the corner, but the pub didn't open up until about 12 o'clock. So the guys said, let's go to the pub, yeah, but one of them said, no, that pub doesn't open up until 12 o'clock, which was 5 minutes around the corner. They said, oh, let's drive half an hour down the road to another pub so that when we arrive, the pub will open up. How stupid is that? Listen, it's 11:30 during the day. Why the hell are you drinking alcohol? But this is the reason why some of these guys failed the exam. Yeah, because they're too stupid. But anyway, they cut off their nose to spite their own face. And that's why they didn't fail. That's why they failed and they didn't pass first time. And it's just like some of you people, yeah? Listen, all of us, I expect people to go out and have fun, yeah? But if you know you should be saving up to buy a property or saving up for an investment, don't spend your money. Because you are cutting off your nose to spite your own face. Because you could use this £600-700 spare that you got to invest, to save up to buy a property. But no, I'm gonna go and buy Gucci and go and take out this car on lease and then go out and splash the money in the club, when you could be saving that money to buy a property. So if you're doing that right now, you are cutting off your nose to spite your own face, yeah? And you're going to have that same feeling that those guys had when they failed, because they'd wasted that time. Remember, they had to go back and sit that exam again over 3 days, or 2.5 days, 3 days, yeah? You guys who are wasting your money on foolishness, like cars and stuff like that, when you should be buying your own property, you should be thinking about moving out, or, you know, at least investing in something. You're wasting your money, and in 2 years' time, you're going to look back and think, damn it, I should have flipping saved my money, because, yeah, I did have a bit of fun. Yeah, I had fun in the clubs. I had fun doing this. Had fun on this holiday. But what do I have to show for it? Nothing. That's what you need to do. You need to be able to look back after 5 years' time and think to yourself, I have something to show for the last 5 years. Yeah, I limited my fun. Yeah, I limited my fun. But do you know what? It was for a good cause, because I have this, I have that, I have this. You know, I know people, they got 2 properties, they got 3 properties, and they're young. Same age as me, mid-20s, yeah? Because they don't go out and splash their money on foolishness, yeah? They don't drive that latest car when they don't need to. Yeah, they got a decent car that takes from A to B. They think to themselves, my investments now will fund the nice cars in the future, rather than I'll pull out the money out of my pocket to go and buy this car or this Gucci or whatever. When I invest in a property or properties, when I make money off of letting those rooms out, that spare money that I get after that money covers the mortgage for that property, I'm going to buy a car, or I'm going to lease a car, or I'm going to buy a Gucci with that money, not just pulling out the money out of their own pocket. Yeah, so you have to make the sacrifice. Never cut off your nose to spite your own face. If you like the video, subscribe. If you don't like the video, change your station.